So, our agenda. Yes, Drago?
На зв'язку.
Here.
Дякую, дякую. Дякую. В нас є
Thank you.
кворум, тому продовжуємо.
We have quorum, so let's continue our work. The following items on our agenda: the draft of the schedule of interviews on candidates corresponds to criterion of integrity miscellaneous, and the third item, algorithm of activities, practical assignments to check practical skills and ability. Let's vote for the agenda then, if you don't have any other proposals. Thank you. Decision taken anonymously. Regarding the schedule of the interviews, third stage for candidates who will be admitted, I sent you decision draft with the table. There are a few options how we can confirm the schedule and the final version take into consideration the table, as Drago won't be able to attend on the 25th, and we cannot have a meeting on 22nd according to regulations. Any information on Thomas and Nona possibility to attend, as we do not have information for today, and without them we cannot plan it. You cannot hear me, Drago? Drago, you cannot hear me? Drago, can you hear me?
This was for me. This one I understood.
This one you understood, and what about me? Can you hear me? Yes, you can. All good. Yeah.
I don't hear the interpreter, but I understood what you said.
You cannot hear me, right?
Колеги, я дуже коротко. Давайте врегулюємо це питання.
Okay, we will try to do something.
Can we try once again? I still don't hear in the interpreter. Can we try once again? Vitaly?
Drago, can you use interpretation button with English channel?
Yeah, it's on. It's on, but I don't hear anything. Vitaly?
Ми чекаємо, чи ми робимо?
Roman, I do understand basic things, so...
Ну, ми зараз не чуємо Драго.
And now we cannot hear you as well.
Oh, now I can hear you. I didn't hear you.
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Дякую, пан
That's
Соболєв.
great. Mr. Sobolev with us.
Так, на зв'язку.
Дякую.
Here.
Тоді продовжуємо, Драго. Я ще раз повторюю.
Okay, let's continue. Drago, I will repeat then. We are confirming the schedule, algorithms, practical assignments, and regarding the confirmation of the schedule of interviews, we had a claim from one of the candidates for the position of the deputy head of general prosecutor. After the interview, and in this claim, just before confirming the schedule, I want to read it. In the presence of other members, and with other candidates, the result of the interview could be different, not just on me, but also on other candidates. Candidate is asking to take a decision to recognize the interview with the candidate for the deputy head of general prosecutor as the one that didn't happen, or to continue the interview with other members of the commission who didn't attend and who couldn't vote.
В зв'язку з тим, що є зауваження і
As there are comments and address from the candidates who had interviews or who are planning to come for interviews, that some members of the competition commissions are absent. Very often there are colleagues representing the Council of Prosecutors. And also there is a question that some members of the competition commission from the beginning of interviews work from the very beginning. After that, they leave the meeting. After that, another member comes and the composition of the commission changes and the voting changes as well. And, you know, I'm afraid that it can become the reason to cancel the decision of the competition commission due to these situations. So far, I don't have information from Thomas and Nona how we can plan and confirm the schedule of the interviews, not to have these situations, you know, when one of the members is leaving in the middle of the meeting. And I'm offering to discuss it, what we can do with this situation. And I already sent you to chat that we should work 6/4, the participation of some members of the competition commission should be obligatory during interviews.
Я можу озвучити явку членів конкурсної комісії на засідання.
I can name the members of the competition commission present.
Із 29 засідань, які відбувалися,
Out of 29 meetings, Koval, Gudžel, Romaniuk, Kubida were present all the meetings, 28 Drago, 27 Sobol, 25 Navrotsky, Nona Tsuret 13, Thomas Firestone 20. What shall we do with this attendance, colleagues? That's from the planned meetings that happened. Katerina, as for me, this issue is regulated very well in our regulations. There are requirements to quorum, and if there is a quorum, we can have a meeting. Yeah, we can discuss that. It's very desirable to have maximum number of members present, but in any case, if you have a quorum, the commission should work. I do not mind, Roman, but we just need to discuss the problem with attendance. And we have a lot of petitions on that. Later, I will explain that to journalists in the second item regarding the attendance. But if we are moving to the discussion and approval of the schedule, every time when I send decision draft, I take into account the table. And in the same way, I send the draft, take into consideration the table. Our last draft, I can read it aloud. Take into consideration the table. Yes, Drago.
Yeah, thank you. Well,
Дякую.
I don't know any collective body which would have to be present with,
Я не знаю жодного.
with full membership all the time. You just take Verkhovna Rada. I'm sure they have a quorum rules for the work and quorum rules for making decisions. And this is absolutely normal because this happens in all parliaments in the world. So the candidates who are now objecting on the basis that not all the members of the commission were present, well, I would not, let's say, I cannot say that we cannot take those objections seriously, but for sure, I don't think they have legal grounds to do so. I'm ready to discuss, let's say, because I also think that we would have to have more members present during the meetings. But we have rules on quorum, and we should follow the rules. If we would now go up to suddenly require 6 plus 4, that would block our work completely, because we will never be sure that all of us will be able to be present during the meetings, neither on the Ukrainian side nor on the international side. So I think our rules are just fine. We have even more than half of the people which needs to be present. So we are even better than many of organizations which I know, including the parliaments. So our rules are just fine. We just have to try to convince the members of the commission to be present more often.
Дякую, Драго. Тоді
Thank you
продовжуємо.
very much, Drago. Okay, let's continue working. I sent scheduled draft, take into consideration the table and take into consideration your presence, that Roman is present 100% of the time, as I do not have information on Thomas and Nona. What do you think? Can we approve 23rd? Чередко Піколь Піун, 24th Сабада Семак Семенюк, 29th Симків Синюк Смілий, 30th Тимошенко Філоненко Фармагей, 1st of July and 2nd of July, the last one, and 5 and 6 of July additional days. Colleagues, do you have any objections? And on 25th, Drago, you cannot attend, right?
I'll check once again. 25th. Oh, wait. No, I lost the meeting, so I can do it on 25th too.
Зможете 25-го?
I can do it on
You
25th,
can, right?
but,
Yeah.
but I cannot do it on the 1st and 2nd. Well, I cannot do it on the 1st of July and the 2nd of July. Well, 2nd is possible. So the first one, July 1, I cannot do it, but I can do it on the 2nd one now. I changed some planes, so it's possible.
У інших членів комісії немає зауважень? Ще раз почув.
What about other members of the commission? Any objections? Bogdan Vasilyevich, yes.
Я старався і буду старатися
Madam Chairperson, I will try to attend the meetings,
але в мене з 1 липня відпустка.
but I will be in my annual leave from 1st of July. That is the first. Second,
Я вже написав щодо
as I've already written regarding
на електронну нашу, значить, адресу.
I've already sent a letter to our email and I explained that
Тому що ми кожен прив'язаний
they cannot require 100% attendance as we have some other job duties.
Я думаю, що будемо старатися.
We are trying to attend as often as possible.
То в мене відпустка, щоб ви мене пробачили.
But from 1st of July, I'm on my vacation.
Більше в мене немає. Що стосується присутності, от то, що там
And regarding the attendance,
цьому товаришу, тому що я і голосував за нього.
well, I feel for this guy. I voted for him, but in other bodies like UN or Parliament, where they attend for a salary, no one is going to vote for the second time just because some members were absent. But we are free people and we act according to the regulations. That is why I feel for him, but probably that's what we should explain to him. People in YouTube cannot hear us. And Mr. Navrotsky also have some red spots in the table. Yes, there are red spots and I cannot do anything about it. I will try hard to come. But regarding the absence, I think the claim was about different things, that those members who were not present during interview take part in the vote. Yeah, that's true, Madam Chairperson is saying, and I think that's a real problem. I think that the quorum should be present during the whole interview with every participant, as if some members were not present during the interview, they shouldn't take part in the voting. And it can be the absence of the positive vote in our case. Well, I do not know how to ask the members of Competition Commission to do everything possible to take part in the interviews, to provide transparency of the competition, transparency, independence, so on and so forth. So regarding our schedule, Drago, 25th, you can take part, right? 25th
Yes.
you can.
Yes.
Так, ще раз повертаючись до процедур.
One more time. Regarding the procedure, there are not just 4. I'm planning 3 people a day. Do you mind? Because 4 people a day, you know, it will be very hard for us. We will finish by 10 p.m. and that will be too difficult. We cannot make them to sit with us for so long. 3 people a day. Do you mind? 3 candidates a day. Any objections? Well, then we are planning 25th. One more time for protocol. We are planning to have meetings on 23rd, 24th, 25th, 3 candidates a day, 29th, Timoshenko, Filonenko, Formagay, 30th, Charlie, Школьный, Щербай, and on the 1st of July, Yarowy, Yaromenyuk. That's right? Any objections? Drago, can you attend on the 1st to 2nd?
I cannot do it on the I cannot do it on the 1st. I can do it on the 2nd. So 1st not, 2nd yes now.
Тоді ми плануємо.
Okay, let's plan 2nd of July, Yarowy, Yaromenok, and additional days, 5th and 6th of July, if it will be postponed. On the 1st, we are not planning. Any objections, colleagues? I would like to ask everyone, as we are planning the schedule, can you see how many criticism we are getting? Because we are delaying the competitions. No objections, right? Thank you. I have a hope Mr. Gujal will agree on this schedule together with Nona and Thomas. Okay, then that was the item on the confirmation. The schedule decision draft is the following. Competition Commission in the presence of the members Koval, Busel, Romaniuk, Sobol, Kubida, Dragakos, by the voting according to the regulations approved to confirm the schedule of interviews for the criterion of integrity of the head and deputy head of SAPO, criteria of integrity, to publish the schedule on the website of General Prosecutor's Office. Please publish it today because we have 5 days left until the first day for interview. Okay, one more time then. The schedule on the correspondence of candidate to integrity criterion. The interviews will be in the training center of prosecutors in Kiev, Yuri Ilyenko 82 on 23rd, starting from 4 p.m. with following members on the 24th. Sabada, Sebak, Semenyuk, 25th, Simkiv, Senyuk, Smili, 29th, Timoshenko, Filonenko, Farmagey. On the 3rd is Charlie, Shkolny, Shirbai. And on the 2nd of July, Yarovi and another candidate. And additional days 5 and 6. Show of hands, please, for the confirmation of the schedule. Yevgen Yurievich. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. We confirmed our schedule.
Другому питанні, давайте тоді третє спочатку алгоритм,
Let's start from the third item, probably algorithm, right? Dear colleagues, I sent you to the chat algorithm of actions on practical assignments and checking of practical and professional abilities and skills. Today we have Representatives Training Center with us. They will tell us briefly what the algorithm will be, as later we need to put changes into the regulations and to prepare the next stage. Practical assignments, please. Dear colleagues, can you hear me? I'm Deputy Director of Training Center. With colleagues, we came here to present algorithm. We, as a training center, should develop practical assignments for the candidates, and we, in the same way as you, would like to have this procedure maximum open, transparent, and clear for the participants. During this procedure, we do not want to have any kind of situations that could compromise the whole process. That's why we are offering the following algorithm. This algorithm foresees 3 main components. That's development of the practical assignment, their delivery, and their check. And there is a clear description how we're gonna do it. If we look at these procedures, the idea is we have this practical assignment developed, and they will be brought to the training center in the sealed pack. And also there will be guidelines how to check it. Also, we are getting the list of regulations needed to process these practical assignments and to create it. And our employees will process all these assignments, will check the quality, and after that, the practical assignments will be given to the commission to be signed. And also it is foreseen in what way to bring these practical assignments, and then how to work with these practical assignments as in the day of meeting. It will be selected randomly from 25 tasks. And correspondingly, the Commission will approve it. If practical assignment is approved, we will check the instruction how to check it, and after that this instruction will be given to the chairperson, and the Commission will check these practical assignments based on the instruction. In parallel way, we will look at the regulation, will it be enough of them or not, and inform the Commission about it. And similar procedure practical assignments to check organizational and leadership skills in the same way. We will get them, we will check them. After that, we will give them to the Commission, and all that will be done in the separate room with 24/7 video surveillance. The list will be in the safe box, and after that, it will be given to the chairperson. And then the question is to select one of these tasks and to approve it. The whole algorithm is structured very clearly and corresponds to the regulations of the Competition Commission work, and there shouldn't be any kind of free movements. Every move is described. The only uncertainty is about practical assignments for organizational and leadership skills, as it is proposed to change the regulation in such a way to make it random, as the procedures prescribed is complicated, it will be hard to execute it. And regarding practical assignments, abilities and skills, if they are not leadership skills, all that corresponds to the regulations. And we would like to ask the Commission to consider this algorithm. And if you have any kind of proposals or remarks, let's confirm it and approve it, as we need to do it openly and transparently. Thank you very much. Today is a presentation of the algorithm. I send this algorithm to the chat. Task force, could you please send it to the email of the Commission? Please get acquainted with that, because it is the issue of changes to the regulations. We will approve it at one of our following meetings. Please read it thoroughly, analyze it, put your comments, not to lose time on it during the meeting. Any objections? Thank you. Task force, could you please send it to the email of the Commission? Thank you very much sincerely for your presentation. Thank you very much to the training center. Dear colleagues, in miscellaneous, I would like to bring your attention to the fact that we got a lot of petitions, claims, and one of them is from the TV channel Express. with the request to comment why we didn't have planned meeting, why the members were absent, did they provide their sick leaves certificates. There was a request from journalist of Kyiv Post. Could you please comment the presumption that the Commission is blocking the competition upon the order of Andriy Yermak. And you know, we get this kind of petitions every day, but I would like to inform for protocol that no one is blocking the planned meetings of the Commission. All members of the Commission work voluntarily here, so they shouldn't provide any kind of sick leave certificates. We were working very hard. Sometimes we were working up to 15 hours a day. And also it's summertime, vacation season started, and also people can get ill. And one time we had a situation when the member of the Commission was working in Zoom from the recuperation room after he had a surgery. We didn't inform about it, and can you imagine, but he was working in these conditions. That's why I would like to inform journalists that there are no reasons. So there are no grounds to tell that the members are blocking the meetings or something. No, we were working for the whole week and it was too difficult. But now we changed our schedule. We will process 3 candidates a day, and I have a hope that we will have our meetings planned, that we will have quorum. And I would like to ask the members of the Commission to attend the meetings. If you have any other comments, please do. If there are no comments on this issue, Roman, could you please tell us on the trial procedure on the petitions that we received? Could you please prepare the replies to the court? And also I asked you to prepare the reply to Koreev's letter, if you have such a possibility. I haven't seen your request to prepare a reply to Koreev's letter. All the information that we received is followed by the task force. I hope they will inform us on that. That's it. Roman, I asked you personally to prepare the response. If you want me to write your letters every time when we agree something like that, I can do it. I can prepare an order for you from the accounting department. Yes, Drago.
I don't think we should prepare a letter for this candidate to prepare a response to his letter, because he pressed charges at the court. Whatever we will say in the response to his letter, and we are not obliged to provide any response to the letter, he might use at the court. So I would agree that we prepare a response to the court when we will get the request, if we got it already, but no response to the letter, because this might be heavily misused by this candidate.
Знаєте, Драго, я як голова...
You know, Drago, me as a chairperson, that's my responsibility to answer every letter, as according to regulations. You gave me this responsibility to answer all the petitions of all the candidates. As every candidate is the biggest value of our competition, we should respect the candidates, and I'm not able not to reply to this letter.
But you just 2 minutes ago, you said you will not reply to 2 media, one TV and Kyiv Post. So you cannot select which ones you will reply and which ones not. And if we reply, then we have to all agree with the reply. not just you. So we will need to vote on the reply then.
Я надам відповідь журналісту Київпост.
I will give the answer to the Kyivpost journalist that I answered him today at this meeting for his questions. As you know, it's not just journalists who are interested in those issues, but journalists of other channels as well. And also we got the petition from the lawyer's request on providing documents of candidate Dudkovsky and Gulkevich. The trials will start soon. I think that just preparation of them, and I need to give a reply to that lawyer's requested as well. That's why it's not an option of, unfortunately, Drago. I do not want to be personally responsible for not giving answer. And regarding journalist, I just answered him publicly today. For those who send me questions to Messenger or Facebook, I just told them that we work voluntarily. That is why I cannot make members of the commission to come obligatory. I can just ask them to come for meetings as we were delegated by Верховна Рада and Council of Prosecutor.
Будь ласка.
Yes, Drago.
Let's say when we speak about legal requests, like the request which you mentioned from a lawyer of one of the candidates, that of course we have to respond. But letter of the candidate, it's not legal request. Letter is a letter, and we don't have to respond, especially because the same candidate pressed charges against us at the court. So let us be smart. We can even send him a reply to the letter that we will continue our discussion through the court. And we will reply to all his inquiries at the court, not with letters sending up and down. That's fine, he can send letters, we don't have to reply, especially if he has pressing charges at the court. And we will have discussion at the court, not in private letters. That's the only reason why I don't want to have a response to him. Any other legal request, of course, we will respond to it. If let's say, if the court will ask us anything on this case, we will respond with what we have. But the letter, which will be our response, which will be for sure misused at the court, I would not do that.
Які ще є пропозиції, колеги?
Any other proposals, colleagues?
I would suggest that you write him a polite answer saying, "Dear Mr. So-and-so, you will receive all responses to your questions in the court proceedings which you have started." And that's it. This is a response, and substantial discussion will take place at the court.
Пан Драго, може ми таким чином використаємо механізми...
Drago, maybe we can use premediation mechanisms, and after that he won't go into the court. Maybe we will satisfy his requirements, and it will be enough information for him. And after that, probably he won't go to the court, right?
He went to the court already.
Дивіться, зараз є декілька звернень, коли кандидати...
We have a few petitions from candidates who are requiring the results of their psychophysiological survey. And I think at the next meeting, we should think about in what way we should act. Shall they be published for the competitions, or we are going to provide these materials to the failed candidates because here they got acquainted with these results? Yes, Drago.
Let me be very clear. I'm speaking about only one letter, about one request. This is the candidate who first sent the letter, and then he pressed charges at the administrative court. So I'm speaking about that letter particularly. For everything else, petitions, complaints, if they have grounds for that, we will of course reply. But if somebody send me a letter, then puts me to the court, then I will continue discussions at the court. I will not exchange letters with him or with her. Let's go to the court and see. Let us see who's right and who's wrong. And we are already at the court, so you're not losing anything there.
Будь ласка, Роман.
Yes, Roman. I think if candidate is asking for information on him or her that Commission has at the moment, we have a right do not provide this information to the candidate. But if the candidate requires for some additional explanations, I think that all the explanations were given in the meeting itself, and we do not need to reply to this kind of questions. If candidate is asking information about himself, we will provide it to him. Okay, thank you, Mr. Navrotsky. Dear colleagues, I'm not agree with Drago. As according to Ukrainian legislation, any kind of petition from the citizens should be replied. And also replied should be given immediately and no later than 30 days. But about the content of the letter, if there are some kind of claims or something like that, I think we shouldn't explain them. We cannot provide any kind of information, but if it's just about concrete data, yeah, I think we should provide them. And regarding this, and if he went to the court after that, we have no obligation to reply to this letter. We really can just reply something like, we reply to you to all this question during the meeting. Thank you. Thank you. We are finishing the protocols. Probably after candidates will get the protocols. The protocol of number 9 of the meetings. Maybe they will get the replies in these protocols, in the extract. Yes, Drago.
Well, just what Mr. Navrotsky has said, the selection commission, that means us, we are not an administrative body of Ukraine. We are a selection commission, so I don't think the legislation which is requiring our responses for public bodies is also applicable for us. Once again, I don't have any problem responding to petitions, to complaints, but what we received from this candidate was a letter. And he, immediately after that, he launched charges at the court. So there's no point in this exchanging letters anymore, except we can tell him, listen, we received your letter, you will get all responses at the court, full stop. For the rest, I don't care. Of course, we will have to respond to everybody else. Petitions, complaints, if they're legally based, yes, no problem. But on this one, to respond to a letter with something which he might use later on the court against us, I would not do it. This doesn't look very smart to me. And we are not breaching anything. If he would have a real intention to, let's say, to solve the problem without going to the court, he would wait for our response. So he didn't do it. He went for the court, and now we will just continue discussions at the court.
Drago. But for the time being, we have no information. Did they went to court, Butkovsky and Gulkevich, for instance? Maybe they also went to the court. Do you propose to the commission to take some decisions? Do not have replies to those who went to court? I'm just trying to understand your position. How shall we work on this issue? As according to the regulations, I'm obliged to reply everyone.
Once again, if we are brought to the court, I said it already. I have only one letter in mind. This is the letter of this guy who used to work for NABU and who pressed charges at the court. So I'm only speaking about this letter. It doesn't make sense to respond to the letter because we are going to the court already. For everybody else, yes, but let's be very careful in preparing those responses, because this might be, every lawyer will tell you that the more you tell, the more you will suffer at the court. So let's keep our arguments for the court. But of course, we have to give responses, but not to the guy who has already pressed charges to the court.
Шановний Драго, у мене
Dear Drago, me as a chairperson, I have no evidence that he went to the court. I know this information just from the register of trial decisions. The court didn't send me any kind of ruling or documents, anything like that. We do not have any information in the commission about this kind of. Katerina, can I say, if we look at the law about answering to the citizens, no, really, we are not a governmental body. And we have no obligations to reply to every petition of the citizens. Our only obligation is information about candidates about themselves, the information collected by the commission, especially before the interview, to let candidates to get prepared for the interview. That's the only things we should provide. We have no legal obligation to reply to their petitions. But if we have some information on the candidate, ready information, but to create new information like candidates asking, I think we should not. Alex, let me remind, we have regulations that was approved by you. It was prepared by Roman Kubida on the petitions of citizens, especially on the access to public information. Yes, exactly, access to public information. That's what we approved. But the petitions from candidate in most cases is not access to public information. As public information, that's something that was created by us. And that's what you can find on the website. And materials on the candidate, it's not public information. That information about the person that was collected by the commission in the process of its activities. Yeah, we should react to this kind of requests, but not according to the regulation on access to public information. And all other questions to explain something. We have no such obligations as a commission, but surely if commission takes a decision to reply it, okay, we can reply, but we have separate regulation how to reply to request for public information, and we have just 5 days for that. You, as a chairperson, can provide that reply. I just do not want to be personally responsible for that. You know, they have this responsibility according to regulation, and they want to comply with it. That's it. But if we are discussing it, what do you think about providing the materials of polygraph survey to the candidates? Can we provide it to unsuccessful candidates? All the materials, including polygraph studies. I think that every person has the right to get acquainted with information collected on him or her. And we should provide such a right. Yes, Drago.
No, I just want to say I agree. No, if they are asking about their own polygraph tests, I don't see any reason why they would not get them. But of course, they cannot see other tests. That's absolutely excluded.
Скажіть, Драго, таким чином, якщо
Drago, then if we have petitions from candidates who would like to get acquainted with polygraph studies before the meeting and to get a copy, what to do with these petitions? What do you think?
You mean before the interview on integrity?
Да. Є таке звернення кандидата.
Yes, there is such a petition from one of the candidates.
Well, that's another problem. Since we did not give this test to anyone else before, to candidates which have been interviewed already, I think we should not give it to him before the interview too. Otherwise, he will be in the privileged position in comparison with other candidates. So he can get it afterwards, but not before that, because we didn't give it to anybody. So we have to treat all the candidates in the same way.
Ну, інші кандидати не звертались.
But other candidates didn't ask for it.
But that's not important. You know, the fact is they did not get the tests.
Будь ласка, Роман.
А я тут, можливо, з
Yes, Roman. I'm not completely agree with Drago on this one. If someone would like to get acquainted with information, that person has a right for that. According to regulations, there is a possibility of access. We have no obligation to provide copies of documents, especially the reply to some common letters where we cannot identify the person, as we do not know for sure who was that, who is living at this address. So if the candidate would like to get acquainted with these materials, we should create the conditions to tell them what time the person should come to have a look at the materials collected. Usually we tell candidates that they can come 1 hour before the interview and they can get acquainted with the materials. We had these situations before, and they send us a petition, and in the presence of the chairperson or in the presence of the head of the task force, the candidate got acquainted with the materials himself or herself. Any other opinions? Yes, Mr. Navrotsky. I cannot see Sobol. We have no quorum then, right? We do not have to vote. Okay, good. Yes, Vyacheslav. My question is, sorry, maybe I'm ignorant, but how commission can be the other party in the court? Yes, it can be. But what kind of subject it will be? It's a subject of the public law. But it's not a legal entity, right? It's possible. Yeah, it is possible. Even without registration and something like that, the commission can be the defendant in the court, respondent. Yeah, in the code, there is such a provision, and it is connected to the competition in the context of administrative proceedings, you know. Shall we react to the appeals of the citizens? Probably it should be General Prosecutor Office. So we approved that. We just need to remind, because, you know, we are going to have a lot of petitions now, a lot of trials. And every time when we are voting, that's why I insist, it's very important now to ground our decisions in the protocol. And now what we are doing, you know, some people want sick leave, but we were working, grounding our decisions.
Please, Bogdan Vasilyevich. We cannot hear you, mister. I just forgot to turn it on. Just a few words. So, as for the responses, of course, I wrote some things, but it seems to me that it was Mr. Roman Kuibida was correct. He said that the law on applications from citizens, the Commission is not a subject to whom people can address. The second point, I think this is correct. We are open to people. We can make an oral explanation. So it doesn't require us to put a seal or stamp on the document. And the third point about the polygraph testing, this is a rather interesting and dubious point. On the one hand, we cannot disclose this information On the other hand, it cannot be an evidence in court, but because it's not provided for by the law, so it's a dubious question. And the last point, you said that this is no longer the meeting, so I would like to leave. Bogdan Vasilyevich, Mr. Sobol is also not able to participate. Well, if you say that the meeting is over, I need to go. Katarina, yes, I think, yes, we can stop the broadcasting, we can stop the meeting, because we have discussed all the questions, we have adopted a decision, so please stick to the schedule, please participate in the meeting, because people start to blame us. But as for the medical certificates, I will not be disclosing medical certificates to the journalists. Romaniuk, well, yes, I explained this. We don't need to explain to people. We can't ask for certificates. This is a pro bono work. We are doing this for free. Because at our workplace, our superiors can ask us why we miss some days. But here so the secretary and the chairperson, we are working even between the meetings, we are preparing protocols. Yes, that's why we have select. So thanks everybody for participation. Thank you for the quorum. And Romaniuk, thank you. I was glad to see you. Greetings everybody. Congratulations. So see you.
Bye.